So welcome to the second episode of our the Grand Tournament card review. This is Nick. Elias and Brian are with us on Skype. Elias, what'd you do to your webcam?
Room just suddenly turned red.
Now it's blue.
Oh.
So yeah, we're just going to continue where we left off last week, talking about all of the new cards that have been revealed. We're going to try to get through way more cards than we did last week, so let's jump right into it. First card, picking up from where we were, is Lowly Squire, a 1 mana, 1 attack, 2 health creature, a neutral creature with Inspire +1 attack. I actually kind of like this. I think this is going to be pretty interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of this card. It fits into a lot of the aggro decks that are out there. I think it's a decent one drop.
That though is that aggro decks are going to want to curve out, right? At least the first couple of turns, and they're not going to want to use their hero power. So this thing is going to stay a 1/2.
Yeah.
Maybe
I see him more for control.
And in the control case, I think I'd rather have Zombie Chow.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright.
I sort of like it. I'd like to see what other cards we get, if there's some good Inspire support, or more Inspire support.
I feel like, is our aggro decks going to become like better as aggro with hero power over minions sometimes? Like, is that going to become the thing?
I think it's going to be interesting to see that.
It would take a lot for your hero power using your hero power to make up for the tempo loss of not playing on curve or not playing anything.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, if you don't have him, a 2-drop.
Yeah.
Becomes a 2/2.
Right, yeah. And then, I wish I'd played something else.
Alright.
So, meh. I'm holding out some hope for this card. I think it's gonna be an auto add into inspired decks just to have something low to play, but maybe not. It sounds like I'm outvoted. All right, next card. We are at 14th card. We're looking at Frost Giant, a 10 mana, 8/8 rare neutral card that costs 1 less for each time you used your hero power this game.
I think he's so cool.
He is pretty cool. It's a very interesting new giant. I like all the giant effects.
He's like a giant for every type of deck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where he actually fits in best.
Will he fit in Handlock? Or is
Probably
he really...
I think
he ends up being too expensive for Handlock.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think six giants are too much.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. You don't want to add more. But so if you think about it, at what point, if you used your hero power every turn, could you play this on curve?
Well, okay. Playing a giant on curve isn't always what you do as Handlock in practice.
So, where does it reach? What's the quickest you can get him out? Is essentially, I think, what you're asking.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
If you turn 2 hero powers, 9, 8.
I don't think this would be something that you. This just wouldn't be the one that you get out early.
Turn 6.
Yeah. So a turn 6, 8/8. And that's having hero power to every turn since 2.
I think.
So he's more of like a surprise later in the game.
He's more like if you're playing Paladin or something and you've popped a bunch of guys out, it's a good late game card to play because you're hero powering constantly.
I think you'd be better off playing Sea Giant.
Well, if you had a board.
If there's stuff on the board.
It depends on if the strategy is... He's a nice plan B for having used your hero power a lot, even if they've been removing all of your guys to stop Sea Giant.
Yeah, then Frost Giant comes out anyway.
I know we saw this a little bit in the Fireside. Amaz had it in his Shaman deck, which he spammed a lot of totems on. So, I'd be interested to see what decks actually end up using it. Because I do sort of like the effect in theory, but I think this one is in practice. We'll see if it pans out.
You can use your hero power as many number of times.
Right. The combo value.
All right, so we had a question from TK Wrangle. If you could compare the Squire, the 1/2 Squire, to Mana Worm, I'd say Mana Worm is better.
Yeah.
Just because the spells you're gonna combo with that are cheaper, and you're gonna want to use those instead of hero powering most of the time anyway.
And it starts at 3 toughness.
Yeah, and it has
just
3 health.
relevant.
That's a big deal.
It's a lot
that means
more useful.
it doesn't trade with 1-drops.
Right. Yep. And it hurts if it doesn't trade at all for a couple turns, you get a decent amount of damage off of even going face. So okay.
And the other thing is, Mana Worm you can buff up several times in a single turn if you have to play it late. Play
That's true.
Mana Worm plus several 1-cost spells, and you may end up with a 4/3, which is decent. But you can only ever, Koldara Drake shenanigans aside, you can only ever hero power once per turn.
That's true.
Right.
So not as good as
Frost
Mana Worm.
Giant.
So the next card we have is Sky Captain Crag, 7 mana, 4/6, neutral legendary pirate with charge. Cost 1 less for each friendly pirate, which I assume means each friendly pilot on board.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we'll probably see them add that to the card text, but if they add a couple new pirates in the next 100 cards or whatever that we see, I could maybe see this being really fun to play, because pirate decks just sound really fun.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we're not going to see this in any decks. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'll
No,
see
you-
more pirate cards coming.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
you-
think
you-
the value of this is going to be determined by any new pirates we see.
Yeah.
Is there any more to say about Captain Crag,
yeah.
except for how awesome he looks?
He is
Pirate on
awesome.
a parrot.
He's with a hook for a lance.
He's pretty sweet.
It's pretty awesome.
TK Wrangle, I will make a Pirate Warrior deck just for you to watch.
Pirate
because
Paladin,
I would do that anyway.
Pirate Rogue.
Heck yeah. Alright.
Pirates are fun. I always want more pirates. So.
Are there any class specific pirate cards?
One-Eyed Cheat is a rogue pirate. I think that's it.
Forgive me one moment. Alright. So, next up is Koto Rider, 6 mana, 3/5, epic neutral minion with Inspire, summon a 3/5 War Koto. I've seen a few people review this card, and I have to agree that it looks really slow to me.
Yeah.
And I just...
Yep.
I can't...
2 3/5s on turn 8.
Yeah.
Which is good, except...
You can do that with
Like
Druid of the Flame,
I mean,
kind of.
That's 2
it's
cards.
like
Yeah.
it's like a Sludge Belcher. It's like 2 Sludge Belchers without taunt. Like, and the whole point of Sludge Belcher is it has taunt. Like, what? On turn 8, I just don't know.
It doesn't say it on the card, but this card has taunt. At least this one does.
Well,
It has
yeah,
unless
right,
Your
the-
opponent has lethal.
Yeah, unless your opponent
Right.
has lethal.
and if you've played ladder lately, turn 8 is usually where it gets really scary.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
Or you're
Yeah, that's pretty late against some sort of hyper aggro deck.
Yeah.
I think if it cost 5 mana, it would have been way better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a little better.
The stats would line up a little more. Although, I mean, okay. Yeah.
Would that be too strong?
No, I don't think so. I think
probably not.
Yeah, so 2/3/5s on turn 7. That seems okay for an epic.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see a
what?
Are we gonna see like a card that gets rid of the cost of hero power, or is there already one?
There's the Maiden of the Lake, which reduces it. I'm thinking there is probably gonna be a pint-sized summoner or something for hero powers that's higher rarity than Maiden of the Lake.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if they'll go that route. But it's definitely possible given their theme.
Yeah, but at that point, who would ever play Maiden of the Lake?
Well, it's a common.
Yeah, well, okay, and that's relevant in Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, since they've already shown Maiden of the Lake, I'm gonna guess that they're not going to make one that makes your hero power free, unless there's just a huge downside.
Yeah, that's too good.
Well, actually, yeah, they definitely wouldn't do it, at the very least not as a neutral, just because it would make for the infinite with mage, and they don't want to have any like natural infinite combos.
Yeah.
Unless it was like once per turn, I don't know, something. Like the first time you hero power in a turn, it costs 0. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, alright. Koto Rider, a little slow. Might be fun to play, just to see how it works. I mean, I'm gonna try it out, because it seems kind of cool.
It'll be probably pretty cool in Arena.
Beast Synergy.
Beast Synergy.
I'm assuming the
Yeah,
war
I think
code is
in
a
Arena-
beast.
In Arena, that wouldn't be bad.
Let's look real quick before we go to the next one. Have we seen War Code?
I don't think they've.
What?
At least on Hearthstone, they don't have the war code itself listed.
Okay.
The
never
War
mind.
Kodo
So we
is
don't know
just
the stats on that. I thought they summoned one in the
3/5.
game.
He did summon one. It's just a 3/5.
It's not a beast.
I'm trying to debate whether it was a beast or not, because it wasn't relevant during the game.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's probably not going to be relevant. Period. But
probably not.
Yeah, not if you're not playing Hunter. So okay.
Well, Firebat had him in his deck.
Yeah,
probably a beast, 'cause he had his
we'll have to go
confidence,
watch
but-
that.
okay,
game
are
just
you
to
going to
see.
put this in your deck over Jaime? No.
No.
Firebat did, because
So
he was showing off new
it's
cards.
crap. No one's gonna play it. All right. The next card.
Let's move on.
The
Yeah,
next
anyway.
card is Effigy. It's a 3-mana mage secret. When a friendly minion dies, summon a random minion with the same cost. I think that's freaking sick.
Fucking
I think
unstable portal.
that's an even better.
Yeah, that would be.
This might be better than all of the other secrets. It's just as good as Mirror Entity for sure.
Yeah, I think this
Just
could
better than Mirror Entity.
I think this could take
Yeah.
the place of Counterspell in Tempo Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
Counterspell never
so
really felt like it fit there. I don't know. To me, it did.
You just have to like time Counterspell as like a win condition sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
you
card
felt
is
kinda-
very sick.
Felt
We're
kind
gonna
of
see it
silly
a
when
lot.
your mad scientist pulled it.
Definitely get ready to learn how to play around this secret. I'm not looking forward to it.
No, it's. I mean, between this, it's like
You might treat it the
it's-
same way you treat Duplicate.
Yeah, it's most similar to Duplicate, except it leaves a random guy on the board as opposed to giving them 2 copies of that same guy, which they have to spend mana on, and you know what they got.
Yeah.
Whereas this can
just
give you
gotta hope.
something random.
Hope to kill something shitty, like low costing.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright. So Effigy is amazing. Next card is Fallen Hero.
They thought Unstable Portal wasn't enough. They had to create a secret version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Although it's anyway. Fallen Hero. It's a 2-mana 3/2. This is mage, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So your hero power deals 1 extra damage while this is alive. I think this is pretty sick as well.
I like these guys.
I hate seeing Mage get amazing new cards like this. 'Cause I don't play Mage, but this is a really good card.
Yeah,
I see this.
especially. You don't see it?
Oh, Fallen Hero?
Yeah.
Yes, Fallen Hero.
Okay, I see him.
Yeah, I think, especially since this guy already has good like vanilla test stats, I think it's pretty good. Again, probably fits into Tempo Mage. What do they normally play on 2? Do they have any 2-drops besides Mad Scientist?
Sorcerer Apprentice.
Oh,
Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
I don't always use him though in my tempo. I didn't at like rank 4, so
Okay.
he's good.
This guy's pretty
Second
good.
2 damage.
So
2 damage hero
Riley,
power that early.
Riley wants to know if this, if the
stacks?
1 extra damage buff would stack. I imagine it does.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Also,
see that a lot, I don't think, but I imagine it does.
Also, as a fun side effect of this card, since it's 2 cost, you can get these out of piloted shredders. It applies to Hunter's Pass or Hunter's hero power.
Yeah.
It applies to Priest's hero power if they switch to Shadow form. And interestingly and sadly, it applies to Warlock's hero power
Right.
What?
Yeah.
and deals extra damage to them.
So you don't ever use Shredder in
Working
a Warlock
as
deck
intended.
anyway, so
That's true.
whatever.
That's true. You don't.
But just fun interactions.
It's a pretty awesome card. I definitely expect to see a lot
Yep.
of this played.
I like it.
Next card is Tuskar Totemic, 3 mana, 3/2 for Shaman with the battle cry summon any random totem. If you've watched any other review videos, I think the consensus on this card is that it's amazing and has potential to be crazy valuable. If you summon one of the other totems that they've added with this expansion, the Totem Golem, that's...
He's down at the bottom.
I don't think we
haven't looked at him yet.
talked about him yet, but I'll go ahead and bring him up here real quick.
Would it summon like hero power totems too?
Yes, it does.
So those are sort of the bad case scenario.
But that's still... It's still
still not
mana...
bad.
Yeah, it's still not bad. You still have spent only 3 mana to get 2 things on board.
So at absolute worst, this is a slightly better Razorfen Hunter, I think.
Yep. And if you summon the 3/4, it's really amazing.
Right. Yeah. Mana Tide
What
Totem would be.
3/4?
Mana
Yeah,
Tide.
Mana Tide.
Oh yeah, Totem Golem, that would be disgusting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
It can summon Mana Tide's good, Flame Tongue's pretty good, Vitality is okay, and then it can summon any of the normal hero shaman totems and the new totem goal.
Yeah. So like even like something like a Stone Claw would be pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, at the very least protects
That's
itself.
blue.
So this, I'm glad Shaman got a card like this. That's a good early game card because they're underrepresented in the meta right now. I haven't seen a Shaman like this in 5 days on the ladder. I don't think. I don't remember seeing a Shaman once.
I usually lose to them.
Yeah.
You just don't know what they
I
have.
usually lose to Mech Shaman.
Yeah.
Shaman.
Well,
Did they add a new
Mech Shaman
class?
can win just about anything if they get like the God Draw, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and they usually do against us.
never like
Us four.
Get wrecked.
that.
Skill, obviously.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about the Totem Golem next?
Yeah, I have stuff in a random order that doesn't make any sense, so we're just gonna stick to doing things that
Okay.
make sense
All right.
out of habit. So the next card is Draenei Totem Carver. It's a 4-mana, 4/4 Shaman only creature. Battle cry: gain +1/+1 for each friendly totem. For this could be compared to Frostwolf.
Chieftain?
Warlord.
Frostwolf Warlord, who is I think a 5/5 for 5.
4/4 for 5.
He's a 4/4 for 5, +1/+1 for everything on board. I like that it's right for friendly minions on board. I like that this is 4 mana, and you're always going to have 1 or 2 totems out.
I like that you can tell it would look badass as a gold card with those totems in there.
Yeah, smoke and stuff coming.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Frankly, I mean, would you really want to play this over a Shredder in like a mid-range deck? Because this is a mid-range card, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think you just get.
I mean,
more
there's
value
gonna
out of
be
Shredder.
there's gonna become totem-y decks now that we have Totem Golem in.
If you can...
That's true. I mean, if you have 3 totems out on board at that point,
The totems are also going to become like auto kill targets if that.
They already kind of are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like you should already like think to kill totems when you can.
yeah. Well, leaving a shaman with a board is just asking to get Flame Tongue dropped on you and conga lined down.
Yeah, and now you'll get Flame Tongue and then this right after to give it an extra
More
buff.
fun.
It could be good. I mean, even with no totems on board, it's not awful. But again, I think for 4 mana, I'd probably still just want a Shredder, just for less variance. Well,
Okay.
variance.
Less variance out of a Shredder. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's a different.
I
kind
think
of
where
variance.
Shredder is great to play on curve, I think this is meant for like a later draw.
This is...
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. If you have a board, it makes a pretty intimidating target early on.
Plus, say
cheap.
you have 1 or 2 totems
agree.
out already. You draw this on turn 6. You hero power and drop this, so you get again what is this for? Like a 7/7 and a totem or something like that.
And
That's
it's
not terrible.
BGH'd.
And then it gets BG'd. Yeah.
Well, is that better than
And your
your
Dr.
And then
Dr.
Dr. Boom.
getting VGH'd? I don't know.
But then you forgot you're playing against the only druid with 2 Dr. Boom or 2 big game hunters, and then you
That's right.
quit.
All right.
Happened recently.
Sounds bitter.
That does sound bitter.
All right.
All right.
So
More shaman.
Decent card. Next card is Thunder Bluff Valiant, 5 mana, 3/6 shaman only creature with Inspire. Give your totems +2 attack. It's kind of like a mini Bloodlust if you have a bunch of totems out. So another totem-centric shaman card. I think this is pretty nice. I like the stats. I think it's pretty mana efficient. Like, even if you only have 1 totem, but especially if you have 2 or more, I think this is a really good card.
Yeah, and just to note, when you do use your hero power, that Inspire effect is going to go off after you summon the new totem. So whatever new totem you summon is going to have +2 attack.
Also, it's permanent.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. It's not this turn, which is it's really
This
good.
thing could lead to some pretty sick combos with just getting run down by totems.
And this will be just one more reason why totems are gonna, like, every totem's gonna have taunt, because you can get wrecked if you leave a bunch of totems out and something like this drops.
Yep.
You'll just know about the turn 4, turn 5 combos, and you'll be freaking out.
It's gonna be fun to test it out. We'll see how it works.
It's gonna be
Shaman's
interesting.
getting some interesting new stuff.
I like the 3/6.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's
pretty good
Arena.
card.
fun.
All right. Next up, we have Ball of RNG. It's a 6-mana hunter spell. Summon 3 1/1 web spinners.
Terrible.
I don't know what to think about this card. On
Really
the one hand, you could say, no, of course I'm not going to put this in instead of a high main.
Yeah, you really could say that.
And then you just go to the next card because this is.
But it could give you 3 high mains. Think about the value.
And then you're dead
Alright.
before you can play them.
You have to think of it this way.
It
It's
could-
6 drop.
Could give you 3
3
more web
minions,
spinners.
3 card draw specific to beasts.
That's true. That's true. That's
It is 3 card draw.
Yep.
That's true. So it's draw 3 cards. It's slow, but it's draw 3 cards.
If you don't get silenced.
It's
I'm just gonna silence
summon a 3/3 and then draw 3 cards. I don't know. It's weird. You can look at it in different ways.
Maybe
Yeah.
if Control Hunter becomes a thing like ever, maybe this could be a one of for extra value.
Just to pray for a win condition that you forgot to put in your deck.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Gazilla's your win.
it's obviously
King
going
Crush.
to be used for like
Where's King Crush on my
Juggler,
list?
Ball of Spiders, or
Web spinners.
3 to face Juggles RNG. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
this
Why?
It's pretty bad.
How?
it's so slow. It's so
It's
slow.
really
You want to
slow.
be winning by turn 7. That's Summer, you know. We'll see. I think it's garbage, but it's interesting.
Speaking of,
The next card is Argent Watchman, a 2-mana 2/4 neutral minion that can't attack, but has Inspire, can attack as normal this turn. We were talking about this earlier.
yep,
And it's a rare. Wow.
it's
I tried to argue for it earlier and had a hard time.
We'll do it.
I would really, really like to see this have 3 attack. Like, I can understand it not being a 4/5 because then it just tramples all over Ancient Watcher's toes.
Right.
But 2 attack is not a
Yeah,
super
I could-
relevant amount.
I could see it at, given its drawback, I could see it at a 3/4.
Yeah, that would make it comparable, and I agree completely.
Yeah,
It's just not good
that
enough.
is weird that they decided it as a 2/4.
Like, you have to buff this or taunt it up, and if you taunt it up, it's still so small and really easy to kill.
Yeah, at that point, you'd rather have a Watcher.
And
The
if you
Ancient
buff it,
Watcher
you
is
still
much better.
have to hero power to make it useful every turn, and I just don't think that's
It's
good enough.
Not worth.
Yeah.
So
It's not worth
disappointing card.
Shadow Flame or any of the normal stuff you use Ancient Watcher for, so
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah, I think this is good for 20 dust.
I'll take it. I'm probably gonna get like 200 for my first 50 packs.
Right?
Alright. Next up is Riley. Yes, you can silence it, but if you were planning on silencing it, then you should have played Ancient Watcher instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, next card is Silent Knight, a 3-mana 2/2 with Stealth and Divine Shield. I love the name. I love the art. I love that it's a sneaky night ninja. I think it's awesome.
He doesn't look all that
With
sneaky
bubble.
in the picture.
yeah, we'll see. I like it. I wish it was 2 mana.
It can't be 2 mana.
Well,
I know it can't
yeah,
be 2 mana. I
you
know
have
that's
a
too good.
neutral 2 mana that's better than a class
2 mana that does the same thing.
Yeah. I don't see the point of this.
I'd take a Giblin over that, a Giblin.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it's not.
Maybe it's just the name that's selling.
It's a funny card. I like it. I like the flavor of it. Oops, I unplugged myself. Now I can't hear anything. But it's alright.
Like you'd probably pick.
I like the flavor of it, but it's not a really playable card. So
they are making a lot of these neutrals geared for arena, I think.
Yeah.
It is all right in arena if you had not
like,
a lot of better.
Lowly Squire's an arena card, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, not to backtrack, but irrelevant.
So,
Ball of
like,
Spiders.
it's a little worse than like a shielded mini bot.
It's a lot worse than a shielded mini bot.
Yeah.
That 1 mana is fairly relevant.
Huge, yeah.
The stealth is that big of a deal at that point.
If you play it in the late game, and you have a shielded mini bot, versus this, the stealth does come up in that they can't just ping it to get rid of the divine shield if that was relevant. So there's it. You don't play it on curve. You play it late game and hide it. I don't know, but it's not great.
Next.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This card's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
The heebie-jeebies.
Alright.
I just can't stop looking at Spell Slinger.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Next one, Wilfred Fizzlebang, 6 mana, 4/4 Warlock legendary, so one of the new class legendaries. Cards you draw from your hero power cost 0 mana.
That's disgusting.
It's so gross.
That has the potential to be fucking ridiculous.
You forgot to read off Taunt.
Let's.
Yeah.
This card has Taunt.
Oh yeah. And Taunt.
Also, its mana cost is actually 8 mana.
Yeah.
But it also has Summon Ragnaros for free with it. Or Dr. Boom.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy.
Or, Jiraxis.
Jiraxis.
Yeah.
I
be consistent.
Usually think Draxus and Mal'Ganis.
I'd prefer Mal'Ganis over Jiraxis. But
I just mean he's the dude that summoned Jiraxis, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
okay. Fine.
Jiraxis in the background of his card picture.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea. Like he's supposed to summon Jiraxis.
But who would ever summon Jiraxis?
Why would you want to do that?
That sounds like a way to die randomly.
No, like think of this like game. You got this, and you're like, all right, I'm floating around 15 health. I just drew Jiraxis for 0 mana. I'm just going to use a bunch of cards and then play Jiraxis right after.
Yeah. I mean, like it's gonna sit in your hand and be 0 mana, so like you don't have to play it immediately. You just hold on to it. So like you could do like Jiraxis Mal'Ganis same turn or something if you drew one.
You also just used 8 mana to summon a 4/4. If you're not doing anything else that turn, you may be behind.
A 4/4 that
Why can't you Wilfred? Yeah.
A 4/4 that would bait out a Flame Strike by himself.
Yeah.
Because he needs to go away.
That's true.
he's not hard to kill.
Might be like using Emperor on him.
Right.
Yep.
Right. That's what I was thinking immediately. Although he kind of takes the same spot in your deck that an Emperor would take, so kind of feel meh about that.
Yeah, and depending on the deck, like if you're playing in Handlock and you expect your hand size to be pretty big, I think Emperor is just better.
Right. This is only we're only going to see this in Handlock and Demon Lock,
or new combo Warlock built around drawing, getting stuff,
maybe
playing huge things for free.
Twisting Nether.
I mean, if you followed this up with like Garrison Commander and double, if you stuck around and then you double hero powered,
that's a lot of ifs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'd want him beyond.
All right, so he has a pretty awesome ability. Yeah, we'll see if he
absolutely love the flavor, if nothing else.
Gets drawn and can be played at the right time in a match, and you get lucky with what you draw. Otherwise, he's...
There will be some embarrassing losses caused by this card.
Yeah, esports. Alright, so the next card up is Flame Juggler, 2 mana, 2/3. Neutral minion. Battle Cry, deal 1 damage to a random enemy.
He'll replace Croc.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will.
Unless you're a hunter.
Yeah. I mean,
I like him in Arena a lot.
Yeah, definitely in Arena.
if it was 1 damage to a random enemy minion, I think he'd be a lot better.
I don't know,
Yeah,
I like going
true.
for that unexpected lethal one hit.
Tiny Ragnaros.
I mean, in
He's
in
gonna be
Face
forcing his
Hunter,
new favorite card.
you're going face
It's
anyway.
always one off lethal.
I don't know.
At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to a random enemy.
That would actually be pretty funny. I like his stats better than Knife Juggler, who is sort of who he's competing with.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree.
Is-
I have to disagree with that.
Well, Knife Juggler is really good in
Yeah.
Face Hunter, but
This being a one-off battle cry, I wouldn't put this in the same spot as Knife Juggler.
No, I
He's
don't.
not nearly as good as the Juggler, no.
Not nearly as good.
well, Juggler's also rare, so there's
Yeah.
that. But like his stats better, pings things. I don't know.
It'd be a
This card will definitely cause some embarrassing losses that will show up on YouTube.
yeah. Just wait for the Cholton video. But yeah, pretty good, pretty solid 2-drop in Arena, I think.
I agree.
Whoa, that guy's huge.
I don't know what's going on with these
He's huge. Look at him.
different resolution.
That's a smile that you only get when you're huge.
All right, next up, Savage Combatant, 4 mana, 5/4 Druid Beast card. Is this? Yeah, this is Druid.
Yep.
Okay. With Inspire, give your hero +2 attack this turn.
Strictly better than Lost Tail Strider.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this entirely depends, whether this is good, entirely depends on whether you're going first or second. If you're going first, you play him out. Next turn, somebody can't respond with a Shredder because you can just then hero power the front half of the Shredder down. If you're going second, somebody plays a Shredder, you can't. It would feel bad to respond with this.
That's what
Yeah.
the coin's for.
Or if you're playing
I think he's just. I think he's really good. Like, your hero power becomes 3 damage, 1 armor.
Yeah, I mean,
As long as he's alive.
I still think it's pretty good. I just think that scenario is going to come up probably pretty frequently.
I think I like
wish
this
he
guy.
was-
Turn 2, and you skip all that nonsense with the Shredder because Innervate's
Yeah,
a thing.
Because Innervate, yeah.
He's part of Innervate.
And then your hero power responds to everything else they play for like the next 2 turns.
Or yeah, turn
By
1,
itself.
coin Innervate Savage Combatant,
Oh, that would be gross.
win the game.
Pretty much. As long as they couldn't just kill it instantly, that would secure you all the board control you want.
Yep. I would not feel bad hero powering every turn after that.
Lowly Squire, hero power every turn. I definitely like this card.
Alright. Yeah,
Alright.
he's got some potential.
Next up, we have Clockwork Night. It's a 5 mana, 5/5 neutral mech.
Ugh.
Battle Cry, give a friendly mech +1/+1. I think the stats are okay. I think we'll see that in Mech Page, maybe.
You need
At least one.
maybe a slower mech.
Other than that, I don't know where
I would
this
always pick
fit.
Lotheb over him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure he fits in the mech decks that I know of. I really
Yeah.
don't play a lot of mechs, so
Yeah, is that who he's competing with in the 5 slot? Is Lotheb and what else? Like,
Harris.
Drake.
Oh, Azure Drake. There we go. Yeah, Drake's
Slash
really
Belcher.
good.
Just play Azure Drake?
If we're talking about
No.
Mech Mage, then
But
They don't.
Yeah.
what do they usually do turn 5? With all their mana?
Play a 3 and a 2.
Play a 3 and a 2? I mean, if they don't
Yeah.
really have a good 5-drop mech, this isn't a bad one.
yeah, Mech Mages would do the Goblin Blast Mage, right?
That's 4.
It's 4.
Yeah.
Is
Blast Mage 4?
Mechanical Yeti
Yeah.
5?
No, that's 4 too.
It's 4
They're
too.
all 4. They're all
Yeah.
4.
All the big relevant mechs are 4.
Yeah, and so they honestly
What
I
do
don't
they
think
do?
they have anything else until turn 7 when they play Boom or Antonidas.
Yeah, so I mean, it could fill a new slot if they wanted another big creature that makes things.
Yeah, if it was a
Okay.
slightly slower Mech Mage, maybe.
It could work.
Or does this work in Mech Shaman at all?
I can see
It-
slow for Mech Shaman too.
I mean, yeah, Mech Shaman probably wants to just beat you in the face, but
Yeah, you'd rather drop a what is it, Fell Reaver on 5,
I'd rather drop a Doom Hammer.
yeah,
and
that's-
immediately get it Harrison. That
That's always fun.
Yeah, and then
in
Right,
the meta
yourself
right
to
now,
sleep.
I'm so scared of using Doomhammer.
Anyway,
So next up, 3 mana King's Defender. It's a 3/2 weapon. I believe is
For warrior.
okay. It looks the image that I have makes it look like it's a neutral weapon, but
no, it has
that's
the
not a
reddish
thing,
border
so-
around the text.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Battle Cry. If you have a minion with taunt, gain +1 durability.
This card is pretty garbage.
Oh, I actually misread this card. I thought it
really
was
is.
+1 for each minion with taunt, which would make it not good.
It really
But
is
more
garbage.
relevant.
The only taunt
That
you
makes
play
it-
in warrior decks is a Sludge Belcher, and you're just
Or-
it's usually to just sacrifice it.
Or if you're patron, you're playing Dread Corsair, which you want the weapon to come out first, so the Dread Corsair is discounted.
Yep.
Right.
yeah, but you can't.
You
can't
could
just
Dread
think,
Corsair
what-
attack and then King's Defender,
Isn't
but
that
you
like
just wouldn't do
just-
that. You already have 4 weapons in a patron.
What decks are already relevant? It's like going to be part
That's
of
true.
new decks.
So if we see another insane, cheap warrior card with taunt, or a neutral card that fits in some new warrior deck, then okay, maybe. Otherwise, this is not anywhere near as good as the other 2 warrior weapons,
Yeah,
and I won't see play.
I think you want WinX over this almost every time,
Yeah,
Yep.
because you need it on turn 2 to clear
Right.
early game.
or coin turn 1, like they always do.
Yep.
Hmm.
Go ahead and play creatures.
So,
See what happens.
Next up, Tournament Medic. It's a 4 mana 1/8 neutral minion with Inspire. Restore 2 health to your hero.
He's going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Follows in a great curve with Hobgoblin.
The Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a much more relevant
That's gonna be a
3/10.
thing.
I'd play
Oh god,
my Hobgoblin deck, I think.
that's pretty gross.
It's like maybe in Divine Spirit Interfire Priest.
That's another one that would be pretty good on.
That's true.
Divine
don't
Spirit
kill it.
Interfire
Priest.
Priest with Hobgoblins.
He's going to go and control Priest.
Oh man, I don't know.
One of those things that this card does enable really, really well, especially in Priest, is if you're healing your minions and yourself, and you have, say, a Light Warden from Light of the Naru out, it double procs that trigger for healing twice, because they're two separate instances, which is interesting.
I think if this guy's stat distribution were just a little bit better, like even just a 2/7, I think he would be interesting. I think the one attack is just...
Well, he's a common, so he's in the same, and he's 4 mana, so he's in the same slot as the Oasis Snapjaw. So if he was a 2/7, he would just be a strictly better Oasis Snapjaw in the same sort of
synergy.
Well, beast synergy. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
That
know,
mad
man.
Oasis Snapjaw beast synergy.
Oasis,
That affects,
dude,
like,
I remember seeing
4 to
Raynad
6
run
cards.
Oasis Snapjaw in Hunter with
I've seen it.
what's it?
Call Pet?
Houndmaster.
Houndmaster? Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Alright. Fine, it could be 2/7.
So this card buffed with other crazy priest magic
It's a giant.
could be some serious. It could cause some serious wreckage.
I don't know. I think it's just bad. Honestly.
Fair enough.
I like him more than Deathlord.
Really.
To play with or to play against?
I think he's what? I think it's better than Deathlord to play with because you're not
Right.
risking them beating you with the Death Rattle if they can kill it quickly, and it's pretty much a taunt anyway. Otherwise, you can't burn your opponent down.
It's true.
Fair point.
It makes Face Hunter kind of sad. Like
I
that
think
one
it's anti-aggro by a lot.
that one
Well,
damage is relevant to Face Hunter. For a lot of their
it is
cards.
if it didn't come down the turn before they kill you.
You think they kill you?
Well, turn 3 was clearly your Deathlord.
yeah, you're still using Deathlord. I didn't say don't use Deathlord. I just said I like him better. So turn 3 Deathlord, turn 4 Medic, you win.
And then you just
and
sit
that
there
is
all
the
day.
only deck you win against at that point.
Like
No,
half the
and then
decks,
he's
it's
against
fine.
everything else.
Alright. Moving on.
He's yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't sell it to sell it.
Next card. Holy Champion, a 4 mana 3/5 priest card. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack.
Save.
This
I like
this
this
is
card.
the card that priests are going to want to drop on for.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a
I
beefy
agree.
light
With
warden.
Circle of Healing. With
Yeah.
Circle of Healing.
Yeah.
Well, and do some weird stuff with Wild Pyromancer plus a Circle of Healing. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yep. Follow this up if you
Yeah,
had a
that's
board of injured guys
ridiculous.
with Holy Fire on turn 5, and then he gets huge.
It's like a priest.
Or Holy Nova. That one.
Frothing.
Yeah, I mean that is frankly a good
wacky.
comparison. Now priests don't have a way to charge it, which is
Yeah,
I
but
think we can agree that's
Let's-
broken in Warrior anyway. But
Yeah.
no.
Let's say
Yeah.
Like 100% of
you're-
Legend players play Patron. It's not
Hear
bad.
me out. Hear me out. Let's say you're a priest and you're against a mage, and the mage is like, "All right, I'm gonna play Spellslinger," and then you get that charge card from it that warriors have to give +2 attack and charge, and you have Holy Champion in your hand, and you happen to have a Pyromancer on the board too, and Circle of Healing in your hand, and you just play it all in charge for lethal, and you say, "What's up?"
yep.
This is an interesting scenario.
New meta.
New meta.
Yeah. All jokes aside, though, I think that's pretty strong and could.
Yep.
It is.
It's a good common.
Well, it could make way for a more sort of mid-rangey priest that can actually sort of threaten you mid-game.
Which I would love.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Priests are annoying.
Priests are awesome.
No love. They don't get my love.
I really do just hate playing against
After
priests.
you stole a...
Oh man,
I
Elias
told...
doesn't know about that.
No, he does. I mentioned it the other day. After Brian stole a Death Spite and Grom from my deck in the finals of our office tournament and killed me with my own shit, yeah. I'm just, Priest is not a real class anymore.
You did that to him, Brian?
I did, yeah. To be fair, that is the most epic thought steal that I have ever gotten.
And I had lethal in hand, and I was gonna. Oh god! And after I knocked you into the losers bracket, I'd already beaten you. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna not be butthurt about that until I beat you in the next one.
My opponent
I'm
just Kel'Thuzad in a full board, and I just drew Equality Consecrate from Thought Steal.
Oh my gosh!
No.
He added me after and said, "I hope you took a screenshot for Reddit."
That's pretty awesome.
That's messed up. I hate. No, just the number of times I've been beaten to death by my own cards by priests, and it always tells you that this was created by Thought Steal, so you know.
Yeah.
You're like.
They always get Sylvanas.
Yeah, you're like, thanks. Or then you get Dr. Boom, and it's like, here's Dr. Boom, created by Thought Steal. You're like, well, that's great. Here's Dr. Boom, not created by Thought Steal. That's even better. Thanks, Priest.
It sucks really bad playing.
And then they mind control your Dr. Boom
versus that, because I have like 10 legendaries in my deck, so you've crazy high.
That's the only way you can win against the warrior with Priest is to get a good Thought Steal.
Steal their win condition.
Right.
Not a real class.
So we've done a much better job being on schedule this time. So let's continue chatting in just a sec. It's the last card that I have on my machine right now is up next. I think we'll probably cut it off after this one though, and I'll go get all of the new ones that have been released since I downloaded all of these for the next episode. So, without further ado, the last card for this episode is Totem Golem, a 2-mana 3/4 Shaman Totem with an overload of 1. We showed this earlier, and I think it's probably one of the best cards, if not the best card, that has been added to Shaman.
In the game.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
I don't know about in the game, but it is pretty
drop this
awesome.
on turn 2, follow it up with another 2-drop, some 3/2 or something like that.
Another one. Why not?
Yeah.
And then turn
basically swapping your turn 3 and your turn 2.
Yep.
Unless you have coin, and then you put him out on turn 1.
Well, then you don't do anything. You play like lowly Squire on turn 2, and you feel sad.
Play Zombie Chow on turn 2.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But this
Zombie
guy's
Chow becomes the best turn 2.
This guy's gross. You play this into Tuskar Totemic, summoning this, and then your opponent just gives up.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Into just Bloodlust the next turn for 5, because you'd be out 4 when you're playing your Tuskar, but then you don't have the overload. And play Bloodlust and win.
Yep.
It's the dream.
It's what Shaman needed, like some of the other really good cards we've seen.
It's going to be
I wish they'd put a good warrior card in
for
this
people to play decks that don't play minion the first couple turns.
Yeah, probably. Or like really hard removal.
I'm worried that all of the Inspire cards are going to be totally irrelevant because you just don't have time to hero power.
Yeah.
With the new meta.
The only relevant response to this, I think, on turn 2 is Shadow Word Pain.
Shadow Word Pain, Soul Flare if you're really sad. Or Soul Fire.
Yeah, okay.
Soul Fire.
It's like, alright, I trade a card for this thing, an extra card for this thing. It sucks, but
I think you're pretty,
you're sad. You are pretty sad. What else gets rid of it? I mean...
Death Spite.
Death Spite. That comes later.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
We haven't talked about that one yet.
The new Wrath card.
Warlock common.
Yep.
So...
yeah, he's a 4/3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then you just get hit with the Totem Golem anyway.
Yeah, I think Totem Golem is pretty good. You're very happy to get this out of a shredder. You're very happy to get this out of
even think about that.
a Tuskar Totemic.
True.
This is like bonkers out of a shredder.
Yeah, that is. Pretty
And with the new Warlock, they've actually, because before it was only Succubus that was the 4/3. You kill the Shredder and the Shredder's still there. But now they added the Wrathguard and they added this, which are both pretty nasty at 2 mana.
Yeah. Shredder buff.
Shredder buffs.
Ugh,
Oh, Shredder.
totally needed it.
Right.
Yeah,
But
really-
They also added that
screwed
Druid card that we haven't
themselves
talked
on
about. That's like the worst thing to get out of a Shredder.
Yep.
Yeah. What if you get Wrathguard out of your Shredder too?
As we were just talking about. They'd be good.
All right, so Totem Golem is awesome, and we have a lot more cards to talk about. I don't know what. I don't know how many more
let's see.
have been released since.
Hang on, there was a
since I
comment on the
finished this,
medic.
but we've made. Okay.
Some
Compared to Baron Rivendare,
Yeah, there's
Rivendare.
or Riven, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know the card.
that card is not good for its stats. That's not what that card does.
Right.
That card makes other cards dumb.
That card is for cheesy
Very cheesy.
Shaman resurrect or reincarnate decks.
Yep. I love that deck. It's my deck.
Stupid.
It's the greatest deck.
It's not a ladder deck.
Kel'Thuzad.
It's totally ladder deck. I'm taking it to Legendary. I'm
All
on the
right.
path to Legend.
So we've made it through 32 cards. We have 100 more. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yay! This hand. This hand. This hand.
All right,
This hand.
I'm going to cut it
She
off
would've
there.
wanted to be a